Start with the knees bent. Allow that triangular bone, the sacrum at the base of the spine, to settle. And then if it's comfortable, extend the heels away from the crown. If that causes discomfort in your lower back, you can always just keep the knees bent. Have the feet as wide as the hips or as wide as the mat. And let the knees fall together. So the low back is supported and the legs can relax. Bring your awareness to your breath. And take a moment before we really get moving to check in with yourself. Notice the quality of your breath. If the chest feels tight or open. If the breath is short or long. If the inhales or the exhales bear more weight. And then we'll begin to intentionally deepen the breath. Because the breath is like a control dial on the awareness. When the body and mind are upset, angry, anxious, the breath gets short and fast. When we bring our awareness to the diaphragm and feel it expand downward as we inhale, and feel it soften back and spread wide as we exhale, we're breathing the awareness back down into the body. So inhale all the way down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale, as slowly as you can, soften back and spread wide across the floor. The exhales are the aspects of the breath that calm and soothe and settle us. So have a few more deep, long breaths just like that. Inhaling to fill the whole body from the inside out like a balloon. And exhaling slowly, lengthening the exhale to calm, soothe, and settle the body. And then we'll do a quick scan through the physical body, starting at the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. Inhale and pull the awareness up through the legs, into the pelvis, the hips, the low back. Notice any areas of tension, soreness, general discomfort. And as always, listening to your body, feel free to make any adjustments that you need to make. And then breathe the awareness into those areas. Inhale, gently open and expand. As you exhale completely, allow tension to leave the body with the breath. The next inhale pulls the awareness up the torso, into the shoulders, the neck, and the face. Once again, just noticing where in the upper body you're holding tension today. And use the breath to go there. As you inhale into those areas, making space, you invite fresh blood and oxygen to flow through them, bringing health, healing, and vitality. As you exhale completely, continue the conversation of consciously asking the body to soften, release, and let go. Today the class is focusing on the third eye center, our mind's eye, our inner vision, the place where we receive our dreams and intuitions. And one of the ways that we begin to work with the third eye center and manage and trust the things that we cannot see with the physical eyes is becoming aware of and working with the back body plane. So just noticing any imbalances from the left to the right side of how the legs ground, of how the low back, the ribs and kidneys ground, of how the shoulders ground. And if you notice that one foot rests on the inner heel more than the other, send a breath there, consciously asking it to soften, release, and open more with the exhale. Similarly, if you notice that one shoulder is lifted up away from the ground more, send a breath there. Working from the inside out to consciously soften more deeply and cultivate a balance between the side bodies. Lastly, check in with your mind. Notice where your thoughts are at. Observe the speed at which they move through you. Take a big step back from identifying as your thoughts and begin to witness their passing, like clouds through the sky, without getting attached and carried away, without judging ourselves for what we're thinking about, but beginning to notice the habits and patterns in the way the mind turns. And then bring the awareness back to anchor fully on your breath. And have 3 more deep, long breaths. Filling the body from the inside out. And exhale, softening completely into the support of the ground beneath you. Connecting with that universal blueprint for optimal alignment. Bones and joints stacked in the back body plane. And then with an inhale, stretch the arms up and overhead. Give yourself a big stretch from fingertips to tippy toes. Exhale here. Inhale, draw the knees into the chest. And rock gently for a moment from side to side. Massage the low back. And then with an exhale, roll to the right side. Press down with the palms to lift up. Come to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed for just another moment. Check back in with your alignment from the ground up, stacking the bones and joints. Looking for that lightness that comes when everything is centered. It might feel good to inner rotate the thigh bones and move the flesh of the buttocks out. That can help align the pelvis. If you still feel like your pelvis is tipped backwards, go ahead and grab a blanket, a pillow, a block, something that can sit up on, so that your tailbone can ground down and your pelvis can be perpendicular to the floor in a neutral position. Because if we don't get our pelvis aligned, we can't lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. When the tailbone roots down right between the sits bones, both sits bones press evenly into the floor. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. Roll the shoulders together down and into the back body to fully open and broaden the chest. And then slide your jawbone back. So because we're usually here, even when we roll our shoulders back, our head is usually here. We want the third eye center to stack over the palate and the heart. So slide the jawbone back. And again, lift through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. Looking for that lightness that comes into the body when everything is in alignment. And today we are focusing on cultivating a relationship with the third eye, with our capacity to envision and call our dreams into being. Because before we can do or be or create anything, we have to be able to see it. We have to be able to hold, to focus, to hold that hope and dream in our mind's eye and return and refine it, throughout the day and on a daily basis. We are so indoctrinated with technology and we consume so much media and so many other people's creative visualizations that sometimes we lose touch with our own capacity to create. And that really robs us of our agency. Me personally, when I say we, I mean, I am so quick to go into worst case scenarios and to dwell on and perpetuate the idea of things that cause me more and more anxiety. So connecting and activating the power of your third eye to consciously dream in the waking state, and also to connect to lucid dreaming and to utilizing our unconscious, subconscious dreams to cultivate deeper awareness, is a way of taking our power back. Where our energy flows is, I'm saying it wrong. What we pay attention to is we are watering with the energy of our awareness and helping it to take root and take shape and grow. So we want to think about where we would like to be when we emerge from quarantine, some shifts and changes that we would like to see in how our communities and society organize itself and care for its members. And we want to hold these things in our hearts and spend time every day getting really detailed and refined about what it would take and what it would look like, so that we are putting our energy into that and not putting our energy into imagining the worst case scenarios, because I think that the media is already doing that for us. With an inhale, you can reach your arms up and overhead. And exhale through the mouth with sound, release the arms down. Good, again, inhale deeply, stretching past your skin and fingertips. And exhale completely, let it all go. One more time. And then we'll inhale to prepare for the sound of Om 3 times together. And sound is one of the tools in this practice that we use to clear out our energy channels. So when everything is in alignment, we can breathe down into the earth. Exhale, lean into the back body, stacking the bones and joints, allowing the sound to resonate and clear out through the whole central channel. So we'll inhale deeply. Two more times. Pausing to observe the vibrations as they resonate through the body, particularly noticing where the sound gets stuck and things are constricted. This is a practice of clearing out and opening up those spaces and places within ourselves where the energy has gotten stuck and stagnant. We'll do a pranayama, we'll do nadi shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, to bring balance to the sides of the body, hemispheres of the brain, the darkness and the light, the individual and the collective. So you'll bring your right hand up by your face, fold the pointer and the middle fingers down. We'll be using the thumb to block the right nostril, the ring and the pinky finger to block the left nostril, alternately. First, just inhale deeply through the nose, lift and lengthen through the crown. Exhale, completely soften the shoulders down. Focus the gaze on the third eye center between the brows and back into the center of the head. Block the thumb with the right nostril and inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Do one more round on your own. Just observing if one side is tighter or more open. Left side is the moon side, dark, feminine, creative, intuitive side. Right side is the sun side, light, masculine, logical, analytical side. The next time you exhale through the left nostril, release the hands down and return to your normal breath. Again, observing the effects of the pranayama on the energy in the body. That breath is calming. Because inhaling and exhaling through the nose slows the breath down in general. Alternating from side to side brings balance and centeredness. And it works with the left and the right channels that run up the central channel, crisscrossing to form the spin of the chakras. So at each level, when they're balanced, they pierce through a grati, which is an energetic knot, and move the energy from the central channel to the next layer or level of your being. The last place that they meet is the third eye center before they explode out through the crown of the head, connecting you to the universe and your awareness of all its components. With an inhale, you can gently open your eyes and come onto your hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide. Ground your knees under your hips. As you inhale, drop your abdomen down, arch the back, gaze up. As you exhale, press down and curl the spine to the ceiling. Work with the eyes closed today. Sync the motions of the body with the breath. Use the breath to deepen the motions of the body and bring yourself fully into the present moment. Move in any way that feels good to you here. Observing the spine. Becoming aware of the places that are tight and move in chunks, as well as the places that are hypermobile and tend to crunch. Lengthen from tailbone to crown to create a more uniform curve and fluidity of motion as you work. And then with an inhale, return to neutral spine. Pause here. Inhale, lift the right leg straight behind you. The right hip in line with the left. Hip, knee, and ankle of that leg in the same horizontal plane. And then with your next inhale, lift the left arm up. As you exhale, extend out in all directions. So each inhale is drawing the abdomen in and up, and each exhale is stretching long through the back body plane. There's different ways to do every shape, but we're not arching our back today. We're getting the length through the back body. Have one more breath. And exhale, release. In next inhale, lift the left leg straight behind you. Toes flexed and active, pointing down. Extend from the inner groin to the inner heel of the left leg. And as you inhale, draw in and up from the floor to the core. Lift the abdomen towards the spine and lift the right arm high. Again, we're not here today. That's a different thing. But we're inhale, pulling the front body to the back body, and exhale, stretching the back body long. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, release. I'm going to continue to remind you to try working with the eyes closed as we circle the hips. Back to the left and wide. To the right and wide. Forward towards the wrists. Have a few more deep, long breaths moving in this direction. Allowing it to be an exploration, looking for the things today that feel good, that create ease, space, and freedom in our bodies. And once you've had a few breaths going in one direction, you can switch directions, noticing where the hips are tight, using the breath to go there. Inhales, make space. Exhales, facilitate release. Good, and when you're ready, you can tuck your toes, lift your hips high, and press back to downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal the feet, sway the hips, move in any way that feels good to you for a moment here. And then find some stillness. The feet are as wide as the hips, outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. If the hips are tight, like if you needed to sit up on a blanket, if the low back is rounded, take a slight bend in your knees right over your ankles to give you that leverage to inhale, and everybody lift your hips high. Create that V shape with your body. As you move towards straightening the legs, it's a lift from the back of the knees up and a simultaneous pressing from the back of the knees down. That is also the antidote for hyperextension. Press the thigh bones up and back to create length in the lower back and allow your head to hang, the neck reflecting that length. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an inhale, flow forward into plank pose and pause. The hips at the height of the shoulders, and then root the tailbone down. Always an option to lower the knees down behind the hips as we work the alignment. But there is a lift from the underside of every pose, especially this one. Anything that feels saggy or compressed, that lets you know you need to make an adjustment. Lifting the back of the ribs to meet the shoulders. Roll the shoulders down the back and extend the crown forward. Third eye, palate, and heart in one energetic line. With an exhale, lower the knees, chest, the chin to the floor. Press the tops of the feet down. Lift the heart and roll the shoulders back. Everything on the ground presses firmly down into the ground to lift the heart and crown. Notice if there's a part of your neck where you just collapse. That's not it. Dropping your chin down a little bit, slide the jawbone back. Uniform curve in the spine. Have 1 more big breath. And exhale, seat to heels, come into child's pose. Allow the weight of the hips to settle energetically towards the heels. And from that grounding in the lower body, inhale and breathe, lengthen space into each vertebrae of the spine. Walking the hands forward. So we use the arms and legs for the health, the space, the freedom of the spine. The legs stretch the lower spine and the arms stretch the upper spine. This pose stimulates the forehead, the third eye center. If you feel like your head is your neck is strained, you can always place a blanket, a block, a pillow under the forehead to support it. Take your hands as wide as your shoulders and pull or press down into the palms to bring energy into the arms. Pull from the fingertips to the center of the back of the heart, rolling the shoulders down the back away from the ears, and keeping that energy in the arms by pressing the index knuckle mound down. Allow the center of the shoulder blades, the outer armpits to soften towards the floor. Have 3 breaths here. Remembering this engagement of the shoulders on the back body for your next downward dog. And then with an inhale, lift the abdomen and walk the hands to the right. Place the abdomen down on the right thigh and stretch both side bodies and sides of the neck. Widening the left hip to the left to keep that stability, that balance and evenness in the pelvis. Allow the hardness of the thigh bone to massage the abdomen, soften the muscles, stimulate the organs. And with an inhale, walk your hands back to center. Exhale, pause here at center. Inhale, lift the abdomen and walk the hands to the left, widening that right hip to the right as you place the abdomen down on the left thigh, allowing it to soften the abdominal muscles and begin to massage the organs. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Breathing length and space into the side bodies and sides of the neck. And with an inhale, return to center. Exhale here. Inhale, rise, hands and knees. Exhale, pause again. With an inhale, lift your right arm up, stack the shoulders, open the heart. Exhale, tuck that right arm under the left. Scoot the left fingertips out. Gaze up under the left armpit for a twist. Widen that right hip to the right to stabilize the pelvis. Keep the abdomen drawn back to the spine. And then lean back more to stack the shoulders and open the heart. Have 3 deep, long breaths. Scanning the body and making any adjustments you need to make to create balance, space, freedom of motion and breath. And inhale back to center. Exhale, pause. Inhale, lift the left arm, lean back, stack the shoulders, open the heart. Exhale, tuck that left arm under the right. Scoot the right fingertips out. Gaze up under that right armpit for a twist. Widening the left hip to the left to be that equal and opposite force that stabilizes and centers the spine. Lift the abdomen up and back so you're not arching your back as you twist. And then lean back to stack the shoulders and open the heart more. Have 3 deep, long breaths. Feeling the central channel and the 4 corners of the body. Allowing the twist to ring out. Not just the organs, creating space for fresh blood to flow through when we unwind, but all the habits and patterns that aren't serving you. And with an inhale, return to center. Oh, that one feels so good every time. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips high. Press back, downward facing dog. Return to your breath. Scan your body from the ground up. Feet as wide as the hips. Outer edge of the feet parallel with the outer edge of the mat. As you inhale, lift from the underside of the pose. Lift the abdomen towards the spine and lift the hips high. As you exhale, press the thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Lengthen the lower back and allow the head to hang heavy. Press down into the palms to bring energy into the arms and pull from the fingertips to the center of the back of the heart, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Take the center of the shoulder blades up and back towards the thigh bones. Have 1 more big breath. And with an inhale, begin to walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Come into a standing forward bend. Let the head hang heavy. Feel free to bend your knees if that helps you ground your palms, or just if it helps you release the tension from the back, the shoulders, and the neck. The abdomen can come towards the thighs. Shake the head, yes, and no. Grab opposite elbows and sway. Move in any way that feels good to release tension from the back, the shoulders, and the neck. Let it drain out through the crown of the head, making space. Letting go of what you think you know to receive new. Inhale, return to center, and exhale. Release the arms. Next inhale, begin to roll the spine up. Pelvis spins around the femur bones. Vertebrae stack. Head and shoulders are the last things to rise. Yay! So just taking a moment to connect with our alignment. Looking for that stacking of the bones and joints from the ground up. The outer edge of the feet parallel with the outer edge of the mat. Feet as wide as the hips. And for many of us at first, this feels like our feet are turned in. But the feet turned out and the hips pressed forward is like the root cause of like a lot of low back pain. Turning the feet to face forward, outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat, rotates the thigh bone into the hip socket all the way up the leg. With the feet facing forward, we can take our thigh bones back. Buttocks out, center of the hips come over the knees and ankles. With the thigh bones back, draw the center of the buttocks into the midline to root the tailbone down. It will begin to lift the frontal hip bones, lift the abdomen from the pelvic floor, to lift through the heart, the crown of the head, the tips of the ears. As you roll your palms to face forward, feel how that rolls your shoulders together down and into the back body. Then make sure that you have your head in line. Slide your jawbone back. Lift through the tips of the ears. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Interlace the hands. Index finger sticks up. As you exhale, take it up and over to the right side. Press from the tailbone through the heels to lift the abdomen, the heart, the crown. Side bodies and sides of the neck long. Chin lifted away from the chest. With an inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, take it up and over to the left side. Continuing to press from the tailbone through the heels to get the leverage to lengthen both side bodies and sides of the neck. Notice if your right shoulder is dropping forward and draw it back. Center the head in line with the spine. One more breath. And inhale, return to center. Exhale for a fold forward over the legs. Always feel free to bend the knees if you need to here. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold more deeply. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, lift the abdomen, thigh bones back, crown forward. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Allow the head to be heavy. Press down with the hands to lift the shoulders. 3 more times at your own pace. Closing the eyes and exploring the actions. Looking for what creates space in the body as you work. And then with an inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, step the left leg back. Lower the left knee down. And inhale, rise, reach the arms up and overhead. Get super engaged and aligned through the legs by hugging them towards each other like scissors. Root the tailbone down. Take the center of the buttocks forward. Feel how that grounding through the lower body gives you leverage to inhale, lift, and lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. And if you're unsteady or unstable here, you can always place your hands on your thigh or keep your fingertips grounded. But wherever you're at, let's play with closing our eyes for 3 breaths. And it shows us how changing one little thing can make all the difference. In this case, it makes it way more difficult, but it's a good practice. With an exhale, release. Tuck the back toes. Straighten both legs. You can feel free to hop the back foot in a little bit if that feels good to you, to ground the heel or to stay on the ball of the foot. But either way, we're pulling from the front heel back into the hip socket to cultivate that balance and evenness. We're working with the four corners of the body here. Press your thigh bones back to lengthen the lower back. Lift the abdomen and exhale, fold more deeply. Cultivating the balance and evenness in the pelvis to breathe balance and evenness into both side bodies and sides of the neck. Pressing down with the palms to lift the shoulders up. And if the front knee is bent for the time being, that's okay. But think about lifting from the back of the knee up as you press from the back of the knee down. Same thing if you hyperextend. Take a slight bend and do that work. With an inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, pause here. Inhale, step the back foot forward. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen your spine. Exhale, right leg back this time. Lower that right knee down. And inhale, rise. Hug the legs towards each other energetically to bring the hips to face forward. Tailbone roots down. Center of the buttocks comes forward. We lift the abdomen and the whole front body. Play with closing your eyes, keeping your hands on your knee or your hands on the floor if that makes it more accessible. 3 breaths. And with an exhale, release the hands. Tuck the back toes under and straighten both legs. Taking whatever version and variation you took on the other side, maybe you want to hop the back foot in slightly to ground the heel. Maybe you stay on the ball of the back foot. But either way, we're pulling energetically from the front heel into the hip socket. And we're looking for the balance and evenness in the pelvis. That enables us to create balance in the shoulders and lengthen the spine. Press the thigh bones back to lengthen the lower back. Lift the abdomen and exhale, fold more deeply. Closing the eyes may give you a different awareness, so feel free to play with it in any of the poses. Press down into the palms to engage the shoulders together on the back. Have one more breath. And with an inhale, lift the heart and the gaze. Exhale, pause. Inhale, step the back foot forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. Checking back in with your alignment. Being on screen is useful sometimes because I can already see that I let my hips go forward. Stick your thigh bones back. Root your tailbone down. We're going to bring the feet all the way together for this next shape. And with an inhale, rise onto the balls of the feet as you lift the arms up and overhead. Find a focal point to steady your gaze. That's not me because I'll be wobbly. And then slide your jawbone back. Stack the neck over the spine. Soften your eyeballs back into the head. And play with closing the eyes. And again, when we fall, it gives us information about what's happening in our bodies. With that third exhale, release. That was a disaster for me, but oh well. Again, inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the left leg back again. Coming into a lunge on the right side. Front knee stacks right over the front ankle. You are welcome to keep the knee lifted or to bend it and lower it down for some more support. Either way, we get really strong and engaged and aligned through the legs by hugging them towards each other. We extend from the tailbone out through the back heel or knee, and then again from the tailbone out through the crown of the head. And with an inhale, lift the right arm up for a twist. You're welcome to stay here, pressing out through the palms to roll the shoulders back, gazing up towards the top fingertips, or to reach around with that right hand and grab the left foot for a quad stretch. Wherever you're working, hips face forward. Abdomen lifts, twist comes from the core. Stack the shoulders, open the heart. 3 breaths. And with an exhale, release. Tuck the back toes under. Inhale, step the back foot forward. Get length through the spine. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, right leg back. Stack the left knee over the left ankle. Taking whatever variation feels appropriate to you. You can always lower your back knee down. But the action of hugging the legs together, of extending from the tailbone through the back knee or heel, and from the tailbone through the crown of the head is the same. And then with an inhale, lift the left arm up. Stay here, pressing through the palms to roll the shoulders together down and into the back, or maybe play with bending the back knee for a quad stretch, reaching for the left hand with the right foot with the left hand. Hips face forward, twist, abdomen lifts and twists. Press out through the palms to roll the shoulders back, 3 breaths. Good, exhale, release, tuck the back toes. Inhale, step the back foot forward. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. The next shape we can take with the feet together or the feet apart, but the knees bend in line with the ankles. They're fine to pass the ankles, but not to go feet out and knees in. That's gonna be horrible for your knees over time. Inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat. Stick your booty out to get low. Root your tailbone down to lift up. Close your eyes. Scan your body from the ground up. Make adjustments if things feel compressed. Have 3 deep, long breaths. And inhale, rise. Exhale, release the hands to the sides. Take the feet wide. Outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. Turn that right foot in slightly and the left foot out. No, left foot in slightly, right foot out all the way. Good. Stacking the bones and joints from the ground up in all the shapes. That back thigh bone is back in line with the knee and ankle. Arms out to the sides. With an exhale, take a deep bend in the front knee. Bring it right over the front ankle. That thigh is moving towards parallel with the earth. The back thigh inner rotates slightly. Thigh bones in the hip socket, then both thigh bones press back. From that grounding, rooting down with the tailbone between the sits bones, lift the torso. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Play with closing the eyes if you'd like. And inhale, straighten your front leg. Making sure that back leg is stacked, hip, knee, and ankle. Lift and spread your toes, stretch them out, ground them down. As you exhale, widen the back thigh back and cut the front thigh bone back so the whole pelvis shifts. Keep the abdomen back and everything stacked in the side body plane as you stretch the side bodies long and come down into your triangle pose. Scan the body from the ground up, looking for areas that are compressed and where you can make adjustments. Often the arch drops, we have to press through the big toe mound. The knee hyperextends, we've got to bend and lift from the back of the knee up to the sits bones. Press down from the back of the knee through the heels. The front hip and low back can get all jammed up, which means thigh bone back and buttock into the midline. Close your eyes, 3 breaths. With an inhale, rise. Deep bend in the front knee again. This time the elbow can come onto the knee or the fingertips to the floor behind your foot. But either way, stacking ankle, knee, elbow, shoulder. The back thigh bone is back in line with the knee and ankle. From the tailbone, press through the back heel. That front buttock hugs into the midline of the body. From that grounding of the lower body, we get the leverage to reach the arm over the ear. Stretching the side bodies long. Abdomen draws back and turns to stack the shoulders, open the heart. Gazing up under that left armpit. 3 breaths. Inhale, rise. Straighten the leg. Turn both feet parallel with the outside edge of the mat. And then turn that right foot in a little and the left foot out all the way. Make sure that back thigh bone is back. So when the groin presses forward, it's straight. It's like straining the groin, but it's also crunching the lower back. So become aware of that and take the thigh bone back. Deep bend in the front knee, right over the front ankle. Inner rotate the back thigh and press both thigh bones back to fully open the hips. Tailbone settles. Lift the abdomen, the heart, the crown. Gaze over the front fingertips. Play with closing the eyes. 3 breaths. Scan the body from the ground up and see what new compression and information you become aware of. See what adjustments you can make to bring more ease and space and freedom. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Lift and spread the toes, stretch them out, ground them down. Feel the muscles hug into the bones. Exhale, widen that right inner thigh back as you cut the front thigh bone back. That shift of the pelvis creates space in the lower back on both sides, but the front side especially. Stretch the side bodies long, long, long as you come down into your triangle pose. And then scan from the ground up, noticing where things have gotten compressed and jammed up, and make adjustments, play around with what works for you. If the knees hyperextend, that slight bend in the knees, lifting up from the back of the knee to the thigh bone as you press, or back of the knee to the sit bone as you press from the back of the knee down through the heel. Scan the body, buttock hugs into the midline. Gaze up, 3 breaths. If you want to play with closing your eyes, you can. If that's too much for today, it's all good. And inhale, rise. Exhale, deep bend in the front knee. Bringing the elbow onto the knee or the fingertips to the floor. Stacking the bones and joints either way. Back thigh bone back. Rooting from the tailbone through the heel and the back edge of the back foot. From that leverage, we inhale and stretch side bodies and sides of the neck long. Draw the abdomen back and then turn the abdomen back to the right. Stack the shoulders, gaze up under that right arm. 3 breaths. You can play with closing the eyes or not for today. And then with an inhale, rise. Straighten the front leg. Turn the feet to face forward. Exhale, fold deeply into the legs. Outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. The hands come to the floor. And the head can come to the floor, or the crown of the head just hangs heavy. You want to walk your hands back between your feet, palms, fingertips facing towards you. Wrists as wide as the shoulders. Elbows stack over the wrist. Press down with the palms to lift the shoulders up. Have 5 breaths. Bring the hands to the hips. Hug the elbows together on the back. Inhale, root down to lift up. Step or jump the feet together. And let me check on the time. Okay. I'm gonna stop the video on Instagram and restart it because we only get an hour. We're gonna do a balancing pose and then we will close out. So here we go. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Outer edge of the right foot parallel with outer edge of the mat. Foot facing forward. Press down through the 4 corners. Find a focal point to steady your gaze that is not a moving person on the screen like me. And inhale, lift the left knee. Turn that left knee out. You can kickstand the toes at the ankle. You can press the foot into the calf, or you can take the foot all the way up past the knee joint. But the foot and the leg press together. Bring your hands to the heart, the hands press together. Everything is hugging into the midline of your body. Standing thigh bones back, lifted thigh bones rooting down. From that grounding of the lower body, inhale, reach the arms up. You can keep the hands together or take them as wide as your shoulders. But bringing your awareness back to that focal point that steadies your gaze. Slide your jawbone back so your neck's in line with the spine. Soften the eyes back into the head. And play with closing them if you would like. 3 breaths. Inhale, bring everything back to center. And exhale, release. Big inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale through the mouth with sound. Letting go of whatever just happened there. So balancing poses really allow us to see how we speak to ourselves when things get difficult, right? Using the breath to soften that voice in your head a little bit. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Spread the toes wide. Ground down through the big toe mound. Find that focal point to steady your gaze. Inhale, lift the right knee. Choose your own adventure from kickstanding at the ankle to pressing into the calf to bringing the foot all the way up on the thigh. But the foot and the leg press together, this balance of opposing forces, darkness and light. And then bring the hands to the heart. So everything hugs into the midline. The standing thigh bone is back. The lifted thigh bone roots down. From that grounding in our lower body, we inhale and lift up. Hands can stay together or come apart. But find that focal point that steadies your gaze and slide your jawbone back. Looking for that stacking of the bones and joints. Soften the eyes back into the head. Play with closing them. 3 breaths. And then inhale it all back to center. And exhale, release. What good practice. We'll come back to the top of our mats. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen your spine. Exhale, ground your palms, step back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Your choice. Whatever choice you make, return your awareness to your breath. Check back in with the quality of the breath, the tension in your body, and the speed of the thoughts through the mind at this moment in your practice. And if you're in down dog, you can lower onto the knees. And if you're in child's pose, you can rise. We'll all come to a comfortable seated position. And I'm gonna lead us through a little guided visualization meditation before we fully close down. And I always intend to do this in every class that's on the 6th chakra, and then I always run out of time. So I'm just sticking it in here before then so that we get to it. Because our capacity to visualize is like a muscle, and we have to practice and use it in order to get better at it. So this is a meditation that an old teacher of mine, Kelly Eli, taught me. And you might not see flashing lights today, and that's okay. Just know that you are working with the energy and you are cultivating and practicing your capacity to envision. So find a comfortable seat. We want the spine long. Bring the awareness to the heart. And picture a golden ball of light in, of, and around the heart. As you inhale, feel this light get bigger and brighter. And as you exhale, settle more deeply into the seat of self. Have a few more breaths like that, just inhaling into the heart, feeling that light get stronger. And exhale, settle more deeply into yourself. And then allow the top of the heart to open and a golden ray of light to shoot up through the throat and begin to fill the head with that same radiant golden light, symbolizing that you will allow your head to be led and guided by your heart. Have a few more deep, long breaths. Inhale, feeling both of these lights expand, get brighter and stronger. And exhale, settling to more deeply occupy the space of yourself. With the next inhale, the top of the head opens like an aperture on a camera. And that radiant golden light shoots out through the ceiling and the roof. It goes through the clouds and the sky. And it plugs into that radiant blue edge of the Earth's atmosphere that we see in photographs from outer space. And as your little golden beam plugs into that radiant blue edge, it branches out, forming a little tree like 4 feet in diameter, plugging you in to the place from which we all have this collective unity consciousness. And with your next inhale, you're drawing that radiant blue light down around your little tree beam like a spotlight. It comes through the sky and the clouds, through the roof and the ceiling, and it envelops you, shooting through the floor, through the earth, and plugging into the golden core at the center of the earth. This is the energy intelligence of the universe. It is your particular frequency. It is always there, providing you with strength, stability, guidance, support. Inhale deeply And breathe this radiant blue light into each and every cell in your being, allowing them to be revitalized and rejuvenated. And as you exhale completely, allow any lingering anxiety, criticalness, self-doubt to bubble off the surface of the body and be reabsorbed back into that radiant blue light, sending those worries back up to the higher self to be transmuted and reinvested into the projects that you truly care to invest in, create, and manifest. Bring the awareness back to the crown of the head, and with an exhale, trace that line from the head back into the heart. With your next exhale, allow the bottom of the heart to open and a golden ray to shoot out through the tailbone, traveling through the floor, through the earth, and plugging you into the golden core at the center of the earth. As it does so, feel everything stabilize. As above, so below. As within, so without. You are alive, connected, guided. Have a few more deep, long breaths in this radiant blue light space, breathing it into the body, releasing your fears and anxieties. Remembering that this energy of the intelligence of the universe is always with us, even when we forget about it. And then with an inhale, you can gently open the eyes. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. Ground the fingertips behind the hips. If the pelvis is tilted back, the work is really just to lift the spine up. If you can get that pelvis to a neutral position, then let's fold forward for 10 deep, long breaths. When you're ready with an inhale, slowly rise. Thank you for the assist, Kathy Lou. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor, knees together, stretch past the knees. And as you exhale, begin to roll the spine out, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming to lay flat on the back, the feet in close to the buttocks, press the back of the head and the shoulders into the mat. Inhale, lift the pelvis, the low back, the middle back. Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. Everything on the ground, palms face up. Everything on the ground presses firmly down to lift the heart. From the heart, extend through the knees. From the heart, extend through the crown. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, release. Sway the knees from side to side. And then draw them into the chest. Rock gently from side to side. Massage the low back. And if you would like a deep twist, you can eagle wrap the right leg over the left. And exhale, drop the legs to the left side. Gaze up and over the right shoulder. If this is too intense, if it causes pain in the lower back, just knees bent, stacked on top of each other. Breathe length and space into the spine. And as you exhale, sink into that right shoulder, unwind or rewind. 3 breaths. And inhale back to center. If you had your legs crossed, switch out the crossing of the legs. Otherwise, just drop the stacked knees over to the right side. Gaze over the left shoulder. Breathe deeply, breathing length and space into each vertebrae in the spine. And as you exhale completely, soften into the back body plane. 3 more deep, long breaths. Allowing the breaths to bring the body out. Making space for new energy, ideas, and opportunities to come through when we unwind. With an inhale, return to center. And draw the knees into the chest. You can rock from side to side a little bit. And then hug everything tight into a little ball. Tighten up the muscles in the feet, the legs, the abdomen, the arms, the face. Bring the nose to the knees. Hug everything in, and with an exhale, release. Savasana. Final relaxation. If there is any discomfort in the lower back when the legs extend flat out on the mat, you can always prop them up on the couch or a chair, or just keep the knees bent with the feet wide and let them fall in towards each other. Palms rest facing up at like a 30-degree angle from the body to roll the shoulders under. If the chin is jutting up above the forehead, place a blanket under the chin so that forehead is slightly lifted and the body can soften out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. Return your awareness to your breath. Allow it to fill the body from the inside out like a balloon. And as you exhale completely, see what last bit of softening and letting go, getting out of your own way, making space to receive. Take this moment to savor whatever insights you've received, whatever bullshit you were able to release, and begin to consciously deepen the inhales, the aspect of the breath that enlivens and invigorates. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently sway your head. With an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Give yourself a big stretch. From fingertips to tippy toes. Exhale here. Inhale, draw the knees into the chest. And exhale, roll to the right side body. Moving slowly, pausing in this fetal position as you transition. When you're ready, press down with the palms to lift up. Come to a comfortable seated position. Return your awareness to your breath. And check back in with the quality of the breath, the tension in the body, and the speed of the thoughts through the mind after your practice. Anchor the awareness back on the breath. We will seal our collective efforts with a single Om, allowing the tailbone to root you down through the floor, connecting you to the earth. From that grounding, inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown. Lean into the back body to stack the vertebrae. Inhale deeply. Bring the hands to the heart and bow the head in gratitude for the tools of this practice that remind us the power that we have and how we focus our awareness. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.